No more talking about it. The way it is, the way it is.
Indian automotive industry has grown by leaps and bounds over the past decade or so. New segments have emerged, life cycle of existing products have shortened, and new players have entered the Indian market. But despite all of it, there's still very little on offer for the enthusiast in the sub 10 lakh price bracket. You see, the appetite for performance among Indian buyers is still very low for these sort of cars to make a lasting impression on the sales charts. It is no wonder then that manufacturers offer them for a very short duration. The Fiat Punto Abarth, the Maruti Suzuki Baleno RS, and more recently the Tata Tiago and the Tigor JTP are textbook examples. But there's one name that has been the leading light in the affordable performance segment, and that is the Volkswagen Polo, or more specifically the GT TSI. What we have with us today is the 2020 iteration. Now this one loses the GT badge, packs in a smaller motor and bids adieu to the slick DSG transmission. Basically everything that we love the GT TSI for. Have the enthusiast lost the only streak of light in the sub 10 lakh price bracket? Let's find out. Before you completely shrug off the potential of this 1-litre motor, let me tell you that this unit has won the coveted International Engine of the Year award in the sub 1-litre category in 2018. And if that isn't reassurance enough for you, at 108.5 bhp it makes 5 horses more than the 1.2-litre unit before it. Torque rating, however, continues to be the same at 175 Nm. In terms of outright performance, it feels slightly more energetic than the model before it. Aside from the fact that it makes slightly more power and weighs marginally less, this is also a result of the fact that it comes paired with a 6-speed manual transmission. The addition of the manual transmission is indeed a welcome change that will find appreciation by a lot of petrol heads. While the shifts aren't as smooth as, let's say, a Hyundai transmission, there is a notable precision in the shift quality that amplifies the overall drive experience. Just like the Polo GT TSI, this unit only comes into its element once you cross the 1800 to 2000 RPM mark, but it feels its energetic best around the twisty stuff, keep the tacho reel glued to the mid-range, and there's ample of fun to be had. Lower in the rev range too, the Polo feels amply amiable. In day-to-day traffic conditions, you can simply slot it in second and it will crawl ahead without any hiccups or hesitation. The Polo TSI does lose a few points in terms of refinement. It is, after all, a 3-cylinder motor, and for those of you who have experienced the previous 1.2, you will be somewhat disappointed. Over the past decade, the Polo has demonstrated its superiority in handling with its association in rallying as well as track racing. The new Polo continues to be the most fun to drive car in its class. There's a tautness to the chassis and the suspension setup that really endows it with superior confidence. The steering doesn't feel vague or slacking, and that adds positivity to the way it drives. Ride quality, however, isn't the strongest trait of the Polo. While at slow speeds, it cushions sharp edges reasonably well, at higher speeds it does pass on the discomfort to the occupants inside. That being said, for those seeking driving pleasure, it may not be a deal breaker. The 2020 Polo doesn't get any substantial cosmetic updates. In fact, the overall silhouette and design cues have remained largely unchanged for a decade now. While a lot of car makers have been taking an ostentatious approach to their design language with massive grills and oodles of chrome, Volkswagen continues with its clean and charming persona. That being said, the Polo does miss out on exterior features like LED headlamps and tail lamps, a shark fin antenna, and even diamond-cut alloy wheels. The interior tells a familiar story as well. The layout of the dashboard remains unchanged, as does the space and comfort inside. Taking the center stage on the dash is a 6-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. While this screen is responsive and does the job well, it is considerably smaller than other vehicles in this range. In fact, Volkswagen has omitted quite a few features on this Polo TSI, including reversing camera and some more. In terms of space and comfort too, the new model is identical to its predecessor. For an average Indian, space at the back should be sufficient, but taller passengers will surely feel cramped for room. Compare it with rivals like the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios or even the Ford Figo for that matter, and that feeling will swell further. In terms of build quality, Volkswagen really leaves little to complain about.
The Polo TSI continues to have all the shortcomings that its predecessors have been known for. It still isn't the most spacious car out there, it lacks depth in its features list, and the interior has started to feel a little long in the tooth. While I personally still love the way the Polo looks, a lot of people might find it a bit too familiar for their liking. But despite all the limitations, the Polo TSI continues to impress in the build quality, performance and the handling departments. Switching to a 3-cylinder motor has had an obvious impact on the overall refinement, but the new Polo packs more punch and feels livelier than ever before. Volkswagen has also managed to price it smartly. All in all, if driving pleasure is at the top of your priority list, there's no better car than the Polo TSI even today.